the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, where it has reported that year-on-year inflation in its area increased to 4.2% in June, up from 4% in May. This rise, measured by the Consumer Price Index, was noted in 21 of the 38 member countries. Energy inflation turned positive after 2 months of declines, while food and core inflation held steady. In the G7, inflation also rose to 2.6% in June, mainly due to a slower decline in energy prices. The euro area saw inflation remain broadly stable at 2% in June, and according to a flash estimate in July as well. Meanwhile, G20 inflation held stable at 3.9% in June, with Argentina's rate continuing to fall to 39.4%. Dealogic data has revealed that global mergers and acquisitions surged to $2.6 trillion in the first 7 months of the year. This represents the highest level since the peak of the 2021 pandemic era. It noted that a robust quest for growth in corporate boardrooms and a surge in artificial intelligence activity are the main drivers behind the significant increase. Dealogic added that the number of transactions to August 1st is 16% lower than the same time last year, but their value is 28% higher, boosted by U.S. megadeals valued at more than $10 billion. In Asia, Statistics Korea has reported that South Korea's consumer prices rose by a seasonally adjusted 0.2% in July compared to the previous month. This monthly increase follows a flat reading in June and aligns with market expectations. On a yearly basis, consumer prices increased by 2.1% in July, a slight slowdown from the 2.2% rise in June, and also matched forecasts. Core CPI, which excludes the volatile costs of food and energy, saw a monthly increase of 0.3% and a yearly increase of 2%. This marks the third consecutive month that core inflation has held steady at 2% year-on-year. Moreover, South Korea's finance ministry has announced preparing measures to help companies cope with higher U.S. tariffs and expand into new markets, as it kicked off a task force to prepare the new administration's economic policy plans. The government noted that it will come up with measures to boost short-term demand, as well as financial support for mid- to long-term technology development to enhance market competitiveness. Statistics Indonesia Bureau has shown the second quarter growth was better than expected, driven by robust investment and household spending, the fastest pace since the second quarter of 2023. It noted that gross domestic product accelerated to 5.12% from 4.87% in the previous quarter. Household spending, which makes up over half of Indonesia's GDP, accelerated slightly to 4.97% year-on-year in the second quarter, while investment growth surged to a 4-year high of 6.99%. Statistics Indonesia also noted that on a non-seasonally adjusted quarter-on-quarter basis, GDP expanded 4.04% in April to June. And moving on to North America, Canada's merchandise trade deficit widened to 5.9 billion Canadian dollars in June, marking the second highest deficit on record. Data from Statistics Canada revealed that imports grew faster than exports, primarily due to a large one-time import of oil equipment. The deficit highlights the impact of ongoing trade disputes, with U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods increasing to 35% on non-compliant products, as well as on steel, aluminium, and automobiles, While exports to the U.S. saw a modest increase in June, driven by higher crude oil prices, they were still down 12.5% on a year-over-year basis.